Ever wondered if there's a comic that sets your blood pumping with an immense blaze of youthful passion? The first one that comes to mind is Inivial D, a youthful comic all about car racing. In 2005, a movie by the same name, directed by a Hong Kong director, hit the screens in China. Despite being an old movie by today's standards, its meticulous recreation of scenes still holds up today and is worth a look. In the movie, Jay Chou, a pop king in the Chinese-speaking world, played the lead character, Takumi Fujiwara, marking his debut as a movie lead. Welcome to Oriental Frames. Takumi is just an ordinary high school student. His family runs a tofu shop. His dad, Bunta Fujiwara, makes tofu during the day, while at night, Takumi is in charge of delivering the goods. Even though he's only had his driver's license for a year, he's been driving on Mount Akina for 5 years. Even at high speeds, he can deliver the tofu in the trunk intact. The terrifying 5 consecutive hairpin turns of Mount Akina attract top racers from across Japan. Ryosuke Takahashi and Takashi Nakazato, the captains of the top racing teams, have made a pact to conquer all mountain roads in Japan. Takashi Nakazato arrives at the gas station where Takumi works. He's looking for the fastest local driver for a race. But it's Itsuki, the son of the gas station owner, who accepts the race challenge. At night, Itsuki takes Takumi to race together. Without a doubt, Itsuki is completely outmatched by Takashi Nakazato. Itsuki takes Takumi back to the tofu shop the same night. While Takashi Nakazato is practicing on the mountain road, an 86 starts following him from behind. At first, he just wants to speed up and shake off the 86, but the 86 is sticking close, and he can't shake it off. Finally, at an S-shaped bend, the 86 overtakes him with a perfect drift. Takashi Nakazato watches the receding 86 with a shocked expression. The next day, he comes to the gas station to inquire about the 86 from yesterday. At this moment, the boss mentions that this person is his old friend Bunta Fujiwara. Meanwhile, Ryosuke also arrives at the tofu shop. He provokes Bunta to have a race, but instead, he angers Bunta and gets kicked out of the tofu shop. This is Takumi's father. He was once the most promising driver to become Japan's first world champion. But when his wife ran off with someone else, he became despondent, spending his days drinking and making tofu. One night, the gas station boss invites Bunta for a night out. He assumes that it is Bunta who beat Takashi Nakazato's GTR, but it was his son. Over the past 5 years, Bunta had been training Takumi in his own way. The gas station boss hopes that Takumi will race Nakazato's GTR in a few days. So, Takumi takes up his father's request and goes up to Mount Akina. In front of everyone, he races against the GTR. The GTR has a lot of horsepower, so it accelerates quickly in a straight line. Therefore, no one is optimistic about the 86. The GTR maintains the lead throughout. But Bunta doesn't worry at all, because there are fewer straight roads in the latter part of Mount Akina. The 86 effortlessly overtakes the GTR by utilizing the roadside drainage to make the turn. The 86 wins the race and drives away. Ryosuke also descends the mountain and stops Takumi's 86. Ryosuke invites Takumi to join his team but is turned down. Victorious in the race, Takumi also reaps substantial rewards in love. Natsuki Magi invites Takumi to the beach. After their day, Natsuki initiates a kiss with Takumi, leaving him deeply infatuated and unable to extricate himself. Itsuki greatly admires Takumi. His car also changes from a Nissan S13 to an 86, just like Takumi's. At night, Itsuki takes Takumi up the mountain to practice drifting, but Takumi is still lost in his romantic fantasies. Suddenly, a hit from behind jolts Takumi back to reality. It turns out to be a white Mitsubishi Evo. This Mitsubishi Evo intentionally blocks the middle of the road, almost causing a car crash. Kiyotaka Iwaki, from the Mitsubishi Evo, then coolly mocks Itsuki's 86 as a piece of trash. This infuriates Takumi. Takumi decides to chase the Evo using Itsuki's 86, but he finds this 86 very hard to handle. Despite this, Takumi still closely follows the Evo. After Takumi's relentless pursuit, the Mitsubishi Evo hits the roadside guardrail due to a tense operational mistake. They return home, and Itsuki is violently vomiting. The next day, Itsuki's father blames Takumi. Takumi's unmodified 86 was going against the professional driver's Evo with risky behavior. Takumi's 86 was specially modified by Bunta. Takumi gazes at the 86 he has driven for 5 years for a long time. For the first time, he harbors the idea of becoming a race car driver. At night, he still delivers tofu in his car. The driver is Kyoichi Sudo, the captain of the Emperor team. The black Evo immediately turns around to chase the 86. Obviously, the black Evo is here for revenge. Even though Takumi is invincible in terms of skill and familiarity with the road, the 86 is just an old car after all. In the chase, the 86 has reached its limit. Finally, the engine blows up, and he has to stop. Ryosuke arrives just in time. They all agree to have a real race at Mount Akina in a few days. But Takumi, who has never lost before, is deeply saddened. The distressed Takumi returns home. Bunta is watching all of this, so he doesn't blame Takumi. Instead, he installs a racing engine into the 86. Because the new engine requires high RPMs to unleash its full power, Bunta personally takes Takumi to drive up the mountain road. Although the new car brings Takumi confidence, defeating the opponent isn't as simple as it seems. While Itsuki is flirting outside, he unintentionally sees a Mercedes taking Natsuki into a hotel. After some inquiries, he finds out that she has been part-timing for many years. So, he tells Takumi. Takumi cannot accept it. Therefore, he ends up having a big fight with Itsuki. Natsuki's phone is constantly unreachable. The time comes for the day of the final race. On the way to Mount Akina, Takumi sees Natsuki across the railroad. He immediately turns around and chases after her, but even the fast 86 can't catch up with the Mercedes carrying Natsuki. The atmosphere on Mount Akina is highly charged. Kyoichi Sudo has lost to Ryosuke once before. He declares that he won't lose to the same person twice. As the race is about to start, the 86 is notably absent. Ryosuke fits an earpiece on Takumi.
不用教我，我一定赢他。
那我呢？
一样赢你。
The final race officially kicks off. Kyoichi Sudo storms into the lead with his powerful start, with Ryosuke and Takumi hot on his heels. However, Ryosuke suddenly falls back to Takumi's rear. The tension of the race intensifies. Kyoichi's Evo fails to shake off Ryosuke and Takumi. Utilizing the drainage at a curve, Takumi and Ryosuke overtake Kyoichi. Now in the last position, Kyoichi constantly seeks an opportunity to regain his lead. But Ryosuke cleverly blocks the path. The trio navigates through the corners in tight succession. Suddenly, a message crackles through the earpiece. Seeing an opportunity, an infuriated Kyoichi attempts to overtake. As he passes Takumi, an oncoming car appears. Kyoichi fails to dodge in time, colliding with the guardrail and plummeting down. His teammates finally rescue him. With only Takumi and Ryosuke left in the race, Ryosuke deliberately trails Takumi, studying his racing techniques. In the last stretch of continuous corners, Ryosuke overtakes Takumi's 86. The slight distance seems to indicate Ryosuke as the champion. At this moment, Takumi remembers his father's advice. A revelation strikes him: his true opponent isn't others, but himself. He floors the accelerator, pushing the engine to 11,000 RPM. At his absolute limit, Takumi overtakes Ryosuke. After the race, Ryosuke invites Takumi to join his team once again. This time, Takumi doesn't outright reject the offer. All he desires now is to share his victorious joy with the person who matters most to him. Elated, he rushes to find Natsuki, only to witness her sharing a kiss with the men in the Mercedes. This comic has ignited countless racing dreams. We were all just like Takumi Fujiwara in our youth, brimming with dreams and naive about love. Everyone has a time of youth. When Takumi calls Ryosuke to join the team, his youthful journey is only just beginning. Even today, this old film continues to stir my excitement. No voiceover can replicate the charm of the original film. A great movie deserves to be experienced in its full plot. Thank you for watching and subscribing.